And that's what he's doing. And he doesn't care who gets caught, between the tread. He doesn't care who gets caught between the. He doesn't care. Doesn't care about you people. He's off to Martha's Vineyard. Which I've no doubt if, Teddy was still alive, he'd be playing some golf with Teddy Kennedy. He's not one of you. Never was. Never will be. Doesn't care about your families. Doesn't care about the people being killed in Chicago, with some of the toughest gun laws in the country. Doesn't care. And they're finally starting to get it. Finally starting to get it, and that's a good thing. That's what I meant earlier when people are beginning to rise up. Here's a story. The group at the center of the IRS scandal has never been interviewed by FBI or DOJ investigators. This is from the Independent Journal Review. No one from True the Vote, the highest profile organization targeted by the IRS in the scandal involving improper scrutiny of conservative-leaning nonprofits, has been interviewed by the FBI or investigators from the Department of Justice, according to the group's president. Stunning revelation comes to you. They've never interviewed any of these people. Who were targeted? None of them. Well, how can you investigate whether somebody was targeted if you never interviewed any of the targets? That works pretty good, but now I do have to cut Eric Holder some slack on this a little bit because he's been busy. Shout out to the Washington Times. I know he hasn't interviewed anybody involved in any of the groups involved in the IRS scandal, but he has sent a member of the DOJ Community Relations Service team to investigate a Nebraska parade float that criticized Obama. A 4th of July parade float featured the annual Independence Day parade in Norfolk, Nebraska, that is, not Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk, Nebraska sparked criticism when it depicted a zombie-like figure resembling Mr. Obama standing outside an outhouse, which was labeled Obama Presidential Library. So, you can't be everywhere at once, people. And he's busy. He's investigating an outhouse that somebody put Obama Presidential Library on a float. An Independence Day float. And that's serious business there. When you're playing the race card, you got to have some stories like this that you can quote, to the propaganda ministry over at ABC. The Nebraska Democratic Party called the float one of the worst shows of racism and disrespect for the office of presidency that Nebraska has ever seen. When they were hanging George Bush in effigy, that wasn't a disgrace or disrespectful to the office of the presidency. That's cool. When they were burning George Bush, that wasn't racism. That wasn't disrespect. The Omaha World Herald reported Friday that the Department of Justice sent a CRS member who handles discrimination disputes, to a Thursday meeting about the issue. Also at the meeting were NAACP, Norfolk Mayor Sue Fuchman, and the Norfolk Oddfellows, which coordinated the parade. Float's creator, Dale Remick, has said the mannequin depicted himself, not President Obama. He said he was upset with the president's handling of Veterans Affairs Department, the World Herald reported, which he shouldn't even have to say. I'd have told him to all go to hell. First Amendment, free speech. Looking at the float, the message absolutely did not come through, said NAACP chapter president Betty C. Andrews. I don't give a damn what Betty C. Andrews thinks. I really don't. Go to hell. You don't like the float? Don't go to the parade. You know, they were doing this to George W. Bush for eight years. I think that's what bothers me the most, ladies and gentlemen, is the hypocrisy of these people. They're all hypocrites. They're all fascists. So, you know, I guess it's understandable that no investigators have even approached any of the groups that were targeted by the IRS. Because, A, if they did that, that would indicate maybe a smidgen of scandal. You know what I'm saying? And B, that would take up valuable resources that need to be spent investigating Independence Day floats that depict an outhouse with the words Obama Presidential Library on it. You know, important stuff. We don't have time for, we don't have time for tyrannical government agencies targeting the president's political enemies. That's not a big enough scandal. But, an outhouse on a float in a little town, Nebraska, well, we gotta get people on that. Is it just me? I mean, really, is it just me or are these people insane? Maybe I'm the one insane. I don't know. Could be. I haven't, been evaluated lately. I haven't had a psychiatric evaluation lately. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. These people seem like they're nuts. They really do. So we got that going on there. That's pretty cool. What else we got? Moving on. I'm going to leave Eric alone, for the life of me, could you imagine if a Republican president used it, and it's not just the IRS, there are other government agencies, the EPA, Homeland Security, other government agencies targeting the president's political enemies. Could you imagine a Republican president using the IRS to go after Planned Parenthood or Media Matters or, one of their nonprofit, 100% political. Because that's what this was about. Nonprofits can only do so much, have to be careful when they tread into politics. But, we have Planned Parenthood out registering Democrat voters. All sorts of stuff going on. None of those groups have ever been targeted. Could you imagine if a Republican president did that, then appointed one of his, had his attorney general appoint one of his bundlers, one of his donators to investigate, not even talk to the people who have the grievance. Could you imagine? They'd be burning him in the streets. He'd be in prison by now. But, I know, I'm just a racist. Well, I must be. I disagree with the president and Eric Holder. I think they should both be in prison. Barack Obama makes Richard Nixon look like a schoolboy, or a schoolgirl, actually. This president's committed more high crimes and misdemeanors than the last dozen presidents all put together. But if you talk about impeachment, you're a racist. Even the talking heads on Fox. Even the talking heads on Fox call you a radical. No right-thinking person in the world thinks that impeachment is necessary. The cowards I talked about, who if the battle looks like too tough a battle, they just won't fight. Now, if we tried to impeach him now, absolutely right. He would not be impeached. We should be waiting for the November midterms to see if we can take back the Senate and then try and impeach him. Even then, we wouldn't have a supermajority probably. But at some point, history must record. See, that's why this stuff is important. Even if you don't have a chance in hell, kind of like our founding fathers when they took on the biggest, most powerful standing army on the planet. A bunch of farmers with squirrel guns took on the most powerful army on the planet. They didn't have a chance in hell, did they? But at some point, history must record. It should be done, if for no other reason, for posterity. History must record that this president is a criminal. And that somebody tried to hold him accountable. But the talking heads on Fox News and, the Republican establishment, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk, you guys. And I really believe, I heard some analysis this week on John Boehner's lawsuit. I think he's running interference. He's either dumber than a box of rocks, or he's crazy like a fox. He's really inadvertently, and I don't know if he knows what he's doing or if he's just an incompetent buffoon. The latter is my guess. With this lawsuit that he has filed against the president is really an inadvertent, grounds for impeachment. Only he knows he's going to lose. And it's very dangerous, as a matter of fact. Why he's doing it now. Why not wait until November, see how many seats you